Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Cindy here from CLB Craft Creations with a card project for you today. This is going to feature the Celebration What I Love stamp set, and this is actually a very popular set, and you only have until the 31st to get this. For every $50 that you order, you can pick a free Celebration item, and this is one of those sets. So if you have been holding off and haven't ordered yet, make sure that you get your orders in before the 31st, and these are unfortunately while supplies last, so there is also a chance that you may not be able to get it just because they are no longer making additional inventory. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started for the card. Let me go through my pieces real quick. We have our card base is going to be Watermelon Wonder, and that is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We also have our inside layer, which is just a piece of Whisper White at 4 by 5 1/4. We have a piece of our Designer Series paper, and you certainly could use either side on this. It would just depend on how you're going to lay out your card, but I'm using this side. And this is the Birthday Bouquet Designer Series paper, and this is cut at, this is 4 by 5 1/4 as well. Let me just make sure. Yeah, 4 by 5 1/4, standard layering size. I don't know why I questioned myself on that one. And then I have another piece of Whisper White for the outside. This is where we're going to do all of our stamping. And this is cut at 3 3/4 by 4 3/4, I believe. I will measure this for you, or the measurements, the correct measurements will actually be on my on the screen, and it actually is not. It's actually a little bit smaller than that. So it's going to be 3.5 by 4 3/4. Sorry about that. But the correct sizes are on there. So okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to take the line image from that set, the flower set. And this is considered a 3-step stamping, even though it's called 2-step. That just means that there's multiple steps to create the entire image. This image can certainly be used by itself. We are going to use only 2. I'm only going to use the solid piece as well as the line image. I'm not going to use the further detail on this one. And so let's go ahead and get started. So again, Watermelon Wonder for my line image. And I'm going to stamp this randomly. Grab a piece of scrap paper. I'm focusing on, so I'm going to have some ribbon here, and then I want my sentiment here. So I'm going to focus my flowers right here on this bottom right corner. So I want to kind of visually remember that that's where I'm just going to stamp it. Okay. So I definitely want a full image right here in this corner. So that's where I'm starting. Okay, and honestly, these look really pretty even without the inside piece. So it's purely up to you how you choose to stamp this. Now I'm going to stamp this off of the page at the bottom. So what I'm trying to do is kind of trying to create it's going upward, so it's going to fill in here, and then it's going to thin back out. That's why I did the full flower there. And then I'm going to do that one off of the page, and I could probably even do another piece of one up here. Okay, and I mean, if you wanted to fill that in more, you're certainly welcome to do that. Obviously, it's all about your preferences. And that's actually all I'm going to do for those. Now I'm going to come in with my Blushing Bride and the solid image. Now with the 2-step stamping, we do have all these little triangles or these little notches at the top of our stamps, and that is to help you line them up. So when you're stamping, just be mindful of where that little tab is. And I know I've said that before, but it is there to help you. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that real quick. Okay, so in with the Blushing Bride. And if you kind of just go based on that little arrow, you're going to pretty much line it up every time. Okay, So I'm just going to go ahead and fill these guys in. There are some other pieces in here that make it easy to line up, but it's also not supposed to be perfect. It's not designed to be perfect, but it all fits within the lines, even if you don't get it perfectly stamped, which is what I love about these sets. Like this one, I think I actually may have turned it a little bit. Okay. And then this final one. Okay, so those are done. I am going to go in with the leafy image and see if I can just add a little bit of foliage in there. Just to add a little bit of green, kind of pull in the green from the paper. This is the mint macaron, and I'm going to actually put this one coming from the top up here. And it's okay if they overlap. There's no right or wrong with this. Just do what you like and what feels good to you. I'm just going to put in a little right there. Sorry if my head's in the way. And if you wanted to cut one of these out, that would certainly look lovely as well. Going to put one coming up here as well. Okay. Now, that is all the flowers. I'm going to go in with my Memento Tuxedo Black with my thank you sentiment, which I'm going to put right here. This is a good card for mass producing as well, because you could just kind of do the whole line, the assembly line creating, and do all your line image stamping, and then go in with all of your your next colors and so on and so forth, and then before you know it, you have a set of these cards already made. Okay, so there we go, and I think that that is beautiful, and it is simple, and yet just a little touch of elegance with the beautiful script. I'm going to come in now with my Watermelon Wonder dotted lace ribbon. And I have actually already tied my bow off camera. This stuff is actually really easy to make pretty bows with, but because I wanted it to be a certain size, I needed to kind of work with it a little bit to make it just the right size. So they are really easy to make. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to cut off the length of this. And I did have my Scotch tape here, but now it is missing. So what I'm going to do is just put some snail on the back. And I'm just going to wrap it. Okay, so I'm just going to, and I'm going to use this, the laced, or the scalloped edge. I want that to be towards the outside. So I'm just going to stick that down into my tape runner. And then I'm going to come around the front, and then I'm going to pull it around to the back, and I'm going to do the same thing. You could also go ahead and knot this before you actually put it around, because I do want to pinch this a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to I've got these enormous glue dots, and I'm just going to kind of fold this over so it makes it a little bit smaller. Of course, I'm making a big mess with it. And what I'm going to do is, because I want to pinch this, because I think it would look a little odd with the bow just sitting right on top. So I'm going to pinch it a little bit, and then I'm going to put this glue dot right up here. If I can get it off my... And that is not staying tight. That did not work out exactly the way I wanted it to, but it will be all right. Because what I wanted to do is I wanted to have that, okay, I don't love that. So let's pull Oops, and I just ripped my paper. Okay. All right, so we're going to try the knotted method then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ribbon, and I'm just going to make a knot. I don't know why I didn't do this the first time. Okay, and then you just pull that tight so it makes your knot. Okay, and then what you do is I've got way too much here, but I also want to make sure I focus on getting my knot up here towards the top because that's where I want my bow. So let's see, I can then cut that off. Still have way more than I need, but that's okay. And it's okay that I ripped that there because I'm going to actually cover that with my bow anyway. So I still have that adhesive on the back. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of push that into the adhesive in the back. Same thing with over here. And of course it's not sticking. Okay, there we go. All right, and I do actually have a little bit of excess back here that I'm just going to go ahead and cut off, just so it's not flapping around. And okay, so there is that. I'm going to take my bow, and you can make this smaller if you want. I'm good with the size that it is. Move it down just a little bit. I wanted that knot a little higher. It's very stretchy, this ribbon, so be mindful when you're actually putting your card together. Okay, so then there, my bow is going to just attach right there on the front. Oh, I love that. That's so pretty. Definitely a very feminine and florally card, so you know, thinking about who you're going to give that to. This knot is actually, with the double knot, I'm not sure how that would go through the mail. It's not too much bulk, but I would probably stick this in either a larger mailer or you could, yeah, I think that it would probably require a little extra postage, honestly, just because this knot is a little bit thicker. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm just kind of rambling a little bit. So we'll get this down. I think it probably would be okay if you didn't have the extra knot and you only had the knot from the bow. But I would hate for it to not get to your recipient because we didn't allow for extra postage. So that is the front. I'm going to go ahead and I also wanted to stamp the flower on the inside of my card. I think we always forget to decorate the insides as well. I don't always have a lot to say in my cards, so it's nice to have a little decoration in there to take away from the additional writing. Yeah, I'm just going to do one. I was going to do 3, but I think just 1 is just enough. And then we'll go back in with the blushing brine. Just lining up, knowing that I had that little tab going up. And then I'm going to add a couple little sprigs of leaves. Okay. All right, so now we'll just go ahead and attach that to the inside of our card. And this would look also very pretty stamped on your envelope as well. Don't forget your envelopes. Those are always really nice to dress up as well. So you could even just put a little row of these right down the left side of your envelope, and that would be gorgeous. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take this and just with snail, add that to the front of my card, and then we will add our bow and we will be done. Okay, that down, and again I'm going to use these enormous glue dots. I'm not even sure how I ended up with these glue dots. Okay, so I just rolled it, and I'm going to stick that right on the back of my bow, and then I'm going to stick that right on top of my ribbon, and then you can kind of fuss with your tails if you want. The tails are supposed to be going that way. And there is my finished card project. I hope that you liked today's card project, and remember, our celebration ends on March 31st, so if there's any of those sets out there, those freebie sets that you wanted to get, now is the time to get them. You can get all of these supplies by heading over to my website and clicking on the Shop Now button, and you can purchase all these things in my online store. So I hope that you liked it. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment. Thanks. See you soon.